Hi everyone, I'm Kayla Myers Van Duzer, and I've done my advocacy project on compassion fatigue and secondary stress. So, first, I've just included some quotes from the Children's Bureau. These are from child welfare caseworkers. You can just read them, and I want you guys to just think about them as we go through the presentation. First, we're going to talk about what. Compassion fatigue and secondary stress are empathy-based stresses, and they're the cost of caring. Compassion fatigue refers to the profound emotional and physical erosion that happens from not being able to recharge after caring for others. And then we have secondary traumatic stress, which is referred to as STS. STS is similar to PTSD, and it's what happens when people are exposed to secondhand traumatic events. Who? Compassion fatigue and secondary stress can affect everyone in the child welfare workforce. The affected population are caregivers who work firsthand with the families. They can include social workers, psychologists, mentors, foster care specialists, and behavioral specialists. Certain populations are at higher risk. These workers include younger workers, lower education workers, workers with history of psychological disorders, and workers lacking good quality social support. Why? Compassion fatigue and secondary stress happens when secondary exposure to trauma meets natural human empathy. Oftentimes, the prolonged stress of working with vulnerable populations and in stressful environments leads to negative emotional and physical effects. These effects can have negative outcomes for the workers' lives. So, the present state of compassion fatigue and secondary stress treatment is it's okay. There's ample literature and research on the topic of compassion fatigue and secondary stress. However, the awareness is not as great. Child welfare workers are oftentimes viewed in a very negative light, and their enormous emotional sacrifices remain overlooked. I will say that this goes for all caregivers, I believe. So I just wanted to add that too. Okay. Most of the responsibility for the relief of compassion fatigue and secondary stress lies on the child welfare workers themselves. Workers are encouraged to practice good self-care, set healthy boundaries, and cultivate healthy support systems. Oftentimes, though, this is not enough, and workers may need some external help. There are existing treatments for compassion fatigue and STS, and they include cognitive behavioral therapy, stress inoculation therapy, vicarious resilience training, debriefing, and psychoeducational seminars. Some of these treatments, however, are time-consuming and or pricey, so people who are very busy in their jobs, such as child welfare workers, are not as apt to reach out and get these services, which is a problem that we are facing right now. So a future goal is that we focus on changing the cultural and climate ideas around child welfare workers. We need workers to be able to come to work every single day and feel supported and meaningful. In the future, it is important to up the awareness of CT and STS and make treatment more accessible and socially acceptable. There is kind of a myth that people who are in the working field or the caregiving field who crumble or don't do well are not strong or they are not emotionally stable, and that is not it. They're just human and they struggle too. So a possible solution that I had come up with was coming up with some sort of group meeting. I was hoping that we could do the format in a way that would be similar to AA, so it would be very low cost, it would be regular, it would be common, people could come some days and then they didn't have to come the others. We wouldn't want this to be an additional stress or for it to be like another job. Now, at these meetings, I would hope that we could have some fun activities, some snacks, and some music, and then, of course, we could all talk about the things that we're dealing with within our own personal jobs. This really is one small step towards helping treat compassion fatigue and secondary stress. I think that one of the most important things and steps that we take is that we bring visibility to the problem. Oftentimes, these people are completely forgotten. Their work is very much just left in the dark. And I think that if we can bring more attention to the individuals who are helping these families, who are helping these children, then we really can see some progress in this area. So here are my references for this project, and that is all. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.